So let's give my warm welcome to a Nordic powerhouse called Newbury Pharma. So also warm welcome to the CEO, Lars Minor.
Thank you very much, Linda. And happy to be here. I will take you back from India to the Nordics, to snowy wonderland in Stockholm, and tell you a story about Newbury Pharmaceuticals and how we are going to generate business and what that actually means to build a big snowman for us. On top of that, I will conclude with a little bit of a story or a hint or advice I got from a Paralympic winner about how to thrive in life. So I hope I will spark your interest in listening to Newbury Pharmaceuticals. We aspire to become a Nordic powerhouse, and I will hopefully and inspire you to listen to how we're going to create value for shareholders, for society, and how we're going to offer pharmaceuticals to patients in the Nordic space. First, a disclaimer, but after going into that, maybe a short introduction to who is Newbury Pharmaceuticals. Newbury Pharmaceuticals is a pharmaceutical company with a strategic focus on specialty medicine. Specialty medicine is typically medicine that is prescribed by specialists, typically for chronic severe diseases, where we would like to offer patients access to medicine that is helping out with those conditions. We're committed to improving patients' lives by having a strategic focus on oncology, neurology, and rare diseases. And I'm pretty sure everybody in the audience are familiar with family, friends who have been impacted by oncology, multiple sclerosis, and can see the value in working for a company that is offering treatment solutions to help patients access medicine that is treating such severe diseases. That at least gives me passion, that gives me purpose, and therefore I'm proud to work for Newbury Pharmaceuticals and provide such kind of medicines to patients. How we're doing it? We're basically doing this with partnerships. We want to be the local champion, understanding the Nordic markets, and the partner of choice for companies that want to be represented in the Nordics. And we do that with a specific focus on specialty medicine, by developing portfolio, by in-licensing, doing distribution agreements, partnering up with strategic partners, looking for M&A opportunities, and translating that into sales growth for the company and thereby helping patients. Ultimately, to become a Nordic powerhouse and a top hybrid pharmaceutical company in the Nordic space. I typically say first we take the Nordics and then we take Berlin. This is a platform that we're building with a focus on the Nordics, but we can easily expand as we grow the business and grow the portfolio and have ability to go elsewhere in Europe or outside of Europe. We do have sales in the Nordics. We do also have international sales that we leverage and tap into, but the specific focus on the investments is for the Nordic space initially. So far, we have achieved great results. We have a strong team, a very capable and experienced team that is covering the essential aspects of what we need to do within sales and marketing, business development, regulatory affairs, and of course all the compliance departments in quality, pharmacovigilance, and what needs to be in place to bring products to market in the market. We have also high ambitions in terms of translating the in-licensing deals that we have done into sales growth, and we'll have a number of launches coming up over the next quarters ahead of us. So far, we have launched 2 products, but anticipate to have 7 to 8 products on the market by the end of this year, and will continue to generate more launches as we move into 24, 25, 26. The number of products that we have in-licensed this far is more than 30 products. So we have plenty of opportunities to launch these products in line with regulatory approvals, and loss of exclusivity allows for introduction of those products to market. We have a strong focus, and that is in our DNA and in the management team, on creating more business through business development, making sure that we have driving a commercially fit organization that can tap into the opportunities in the market, and of course that we get the necessary approvals from the health authorities in the individual countries, which is the access to go to market. The business model that we're running is what I call a commercially focused business model. A commercially focused business model where we focus on the late stage of the value chain, bringing products to market, doing regulatory work, pricing, reimbursement, distribution, and making sure that the products are sold in the market. We partner up with companies in the later, early stage of the pipeline to minimize our risk, but also to have access to more opportunities. Nobody can cover such a broad field of indications and formulations that we have in the pipeline with 30 products. So we need several partners to team up with and have several partners where we in-license, have supply agreements, and thereby do not have any assets tied up in research development, nor in production facilities, but have a very agile business model where we basically rely on partnerships to bring the products to market. The products that we are looking for is what we call a hybrid. Hybrid in the sense that we are having products that are branded and thereby will be differentiated from products on the market. That can be branded products that have improvements to already existing treatments. So instead of taking a tablet, let's say 3 times a day, it could be improved to a once daily tablet. It can also be products that are already on the market, which we acquire and are having what we call a modest sales, but require a little bit of tender love and care and more attention than they get with their current owners, especially typically large pharmaceutical companies who have other priorities, and then they divest such products, non-core products, where we could give life and passion to those products. That could be in the branded space. In the non-branded space, we're talking about specialty medicine that is exchangeable and thereby goes into tender business and will compete in the pharmacies about being dispensed in the pharmacies. The 2 different sets of products will have 2 different sets of, let's say, go-to-market model. One requiring sales and marketing activities in the field, and the other one requiring more tender activities. And we can manage both. The market that we're tapping into is a pharmaceutical market in Scandinavia of close to 11 billion euros. So a large market where 2/3 of that market is specialty medicine. So specialty medicine account for 2/3, and if we go 10 years back, it was actually only 1/3 that was a specialty medicine. So there is a trajectory and a trend towards specialty medicine, and that's where we are tapping in to build our portfolio and our focus. The products that we are launching is not covering all indications in the Scandinavian market, but we are tapping into a market with the product that we have currently of 800 million euros market size, and are competing to have our fair share of market in that space with a number of products. As I said, the portfolio is built on oncology, rare diseases, and neurology. On top of that, we have a number of other products that we haven't categorized necessarily in a category of a focus, but there are interesting products among those. One of them, for instance, liraglutide, which is going to compete against Novo Nordisk with their Victoza product, which is going off patent in 2024 anticipated. So we do have a number of very interesting products, typically difficult to produce, specialty medicine, and high-priced and lower volume, so it's not a volume game, but more a game about being available to patients. So how are we doing? So far, we have launched 2 products. The first product that we launched was Icatibant Newbury, and the only product where we have 12 months of data. We have, within those 12 months, actually achieved market leadership, being number 1, dispensed in the Swedish pharmacies by winning tenders and surpassing the originator from Takeda and other competitors in the field. So with a 34% market share, we have actually achieved market leadership in Sweden for this product. So it shows our ability to execute. It shows our ability to actually demonstrate that we can win tenders and business. The second product that we have launched is not equally successful as icatibant, and that also speaks to the reason why it's important to build a snowman. And to start building a snowman, it's about getting the first snowball to roll. And the longer you have the snowball rolling down the hill, the bigger it will get. And the more snowballs you're rolling down the hill, the bigger the snowman will get. And that is actually a good picture of how Newbury Pharmaceuticals is going to build the business as we move on. We're going to launch a number of products in the market and have a steady stream of launches coming up, a steady stream of snowballs that will be created and will grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Some snowballs will be bigger than the others, and that's why it's important to have as many products on the market as possible, because that is de-risking the profile of the portfolio. So we anticipate to launch by the end of this year 7 to 8 products, and hopefully we'll double that next year and continue to build more products, pipeline and products that we can launch into the market. And that's how we will balance the risk. We will create value for society, and we will create value for shareholders by launching these products in the market. Some will be branded, some will be exchangeable. And we are right on track in terms of executing on our plans. We have built the foundation, have the necessary approvals, have the team in place, have the portfolio in place. Now we are scaling for growth, and we will be having a number of launches coming up in the second half of 23, with more launches coming up in 24, 25, 26. So we will continue to execute on our plans that we have laid out, but we will also continue to build further business by being active in business development and having opportunities for more products in the pipeline, new partnerships, new arrangements, distribution agreements, licensing deals, partnerships, M&A opportunities, what may exist to drive a further growth of the business. Later on, we're going to solidify to expand what we call, and that's where we have opportunities for M&A opportunities to acquire products that are already in the market and needs a little bit of tender love and care, and we could also expand to other territories outside of the Nordic. We are currently tapping into international sales business, having announced 6 million kronor Swedish orders for the year of 23, and is something that we'll continue to leverage as we move on as an opportunity to supplement the business and the growth in the Nordic. So what you need to look out for is basically regulatory approvals. That's a signal that we can go to market when loss of exclusivity happens. Business development deals, that's a signal that we will have more business coming up in the future and have more access to more products. And last but not least, of course, sales growth reported in quarterly reports, so that we show that we are also growing the business and making the snowball bigger. So let me finish with an advice I got from a Paralympic winner in Malaysia. We were in India before, now we go to Malaysia. I was attending and hosting a sales conference in my previous company for the region Asia. We had 400 people gathered in a sales conference kickoff, and we had a motivational speaker called Mr. Lee, who was the Paralympic winner from Malaysia. He was a blind person and turned blind at the age of 15, 18, and suddenly had to find a new purpose in life. And he shared the story about how he, over time, had found purpose of life by being active athletic, active as a sportsman. He was then asked the question, so what do you think about our strategy to double the business? And his immediate reply was, well, that's easy. Double the price. However, that's probably not the answer to everything. So he said, listen, if you as a team are consistent, determined, and focused on what you're going to achieve, and if you maintain that spirit of never, 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 ever giving up, then you can also do magic together. And that is the entrepreneurial spirit that we are taking into Newbury Pharmaceuticals, and how we would like to grow the business to help more patients, to create value for society and for shareholders. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lars.
Thank you.
Could we just sort out your business model just a little bit more? You have no in-house development, you buy licenses, and you are responsible for registration and marketing and compliance, I guess. Tell us.
That is exactly correct. So we don't have any research and development. We partner up with companies who are developing products. That could be branded products, or it could be exchangeable products, which is comparable to an originator on the market.
So you are scouting more or less?
We are scouting. We are in dialogue with a number of partners. We are going to conferences where we're meeting different companies, and we are doing our research in the search of insights in terms of intelligence. What would we like to have, and where do we see opportunities in the market?
Okay, and as an investor, how can I be sure that you really know what you're doing? What are your competences in picking out the cherries in the pie, so to speak?
I think the management team, the board, speaks to the credentials in terms of having done this before. It's an experienced team, having dealt with various business models, various launches, and have built business throughout their lives in doing this. My own experience is 25 years working for Danish-based Pharma, where I've been leading up international business in emerging markets. I've been leading up European business with all affiliates in Europe, and I've been driving strategy and transformation at Pharma. So the credentials, I would say, of the of what we're doing and the partnerships that we're having is a strong testimony to that.
Do you have any peers, companies that investors could study in order to get a better grip of your business and your market?
So if we go a little bit back to a company that has now been acquired by another company, but well known in Sweden, was Meta. Meta has been building a business model very similar to what we are doing by acquisition of products, launching products in the Nordic space, later on expanding. Then they ended up acquiring a big company and got swallowed by another company. Another example could be Pharma. Pharma has also built portfolio and business with a focus on the Nordics. However, more focused now on the pharmacy business, where we are focused on specialty medicine and Rx.
Yeah, we have a question from the audience about that niche that you have chosen. What constitutes a specialty medicine, and a little bit more, why did you decide to go for this specific niche?
Very relevant question. So specialty medicine is typically prescribed by a specialist, which means you don't compete to go out when you have sales force to GPs. So you need a smaller sales force. Secondly, it's typically for diseases that are chronic and lifelong, and typically they are products, could be peptides, that are difficult to produce, and thereby competition is less. It's also not a volume game where you have to have a big volume and earn a penny on each tablet, but rather earn on the product itself because it's high priced and thereby not a volume game.
Yeah, talking about the high price, I mean the licenses that you are aiming for and that you're buying, they cannot be really, they have to be quite expensive, I guess. How can you tell us about the deal with your partners? For example, how much money do you have to spend in order to get those licenses?
It will differ in terms of the licensing deals. You first determine the territory. In this case, we would say the Nordic. Secondly, you will discuss whether it is an exclusive deal, semi-exclusive, or non-exclusive deal.
Okay.
Thirdly, you will look at the market size and the competitive landscape, and then you're building the price. That can be everything from 10,000 euros to €1 million, depending on what kind of product it is, what kind of field you're going into, and how you're going to do the business and the opportunities. And then typically the business model will be constructed in a way where you have milestones. So you don't pay everything at once, but typically pay one part at signing, one part at submission of a regulatory file, one part at approval of the product, and one part at launch of the product. And then you will have supply prices where you basically are doing the business and recouping the investments over time.
So how much normally would you pay for a license?
There's no golden average as such. It can vary from, as I said, 10,000.
You don't want to tell us, or?
Well, there is no average of that. It can
No,
be everything from 10 to $1 million.
But maybe more interesting is the price an issue for you? I mean, could it be a deal breaker for you?
Of course, it can be a deal breaker because it's a business model that we're doing, and we're doing a business case to see how fast can we recoup the investments.
And the competition about the licenses, is it a rough one, or?
Yeah, it's a rough one, and especially if you want exclusive deals, then you need to make sure that you are the partner of choice and have demonstrated that you can launch products and have the ability to do that and have a good network where you get access to those kind of products.
So you cannot just wave with the money. You have to show that you are a good buyer.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, so how do you?
We do that based on the network that we have from what we have built this far and also what we have built over time in our careers in terms of network and credentials in what we have done. So by doing that, we have gained access to medicines that are very rare to get access to for a new company. For instance, the liraglutide that I mentioned. I believe we will be one of the very few to launch that product in the Nordic.
Thank you. Lars, let's get real.
Yes.
You have 30 candidates. How many of them will actually... You can't expect all of them to hit the market. What is your best bet?
I do expect that I plan for all products to hit the market because we are not in the situation where we are similar to many research and development companies where it's binary, either it works or it doesn't work. Many of those products here are tested and tried. So it's the ability to show that we are equal to a comparator and can launch the products in the market. So I do believe that most of the products, 99% of the products will get to market. Can there be one product that fails? Yes.
Okay.
And that's also why it's important to have this number of products and snowballs rolling down the hill.
Okay.
And that's also because one thing is getting to market, another one is you don't necessarily make a success of all the products you're launching.
Thank you. Time flies, but we have one question I think you can answer by just a simple yes and no. A good question from the audience. Is it fair to compare you to a life science investment fund?
Oh, that's a good question.
Very short.
To a certain degree, yes, in the sense that you will get access to multiple product and indications.
Yeah.
And thereby are de-risking the profile. Of course, we are a company, we are not a fund.
Yes, of course,
so there's people behind. There is the focus and determination to win in the market.
So you have to buy the stock, you cannot invest in the fund. Okay, thank you so much, Lars, and good luck with your 99% goal there.
Thank you so much.
Så, tack så hemskt mycket. Vad spännande.